Welcome to another edition of the Black Male Podcast. I am your host, AP, and today's show, which is episode 41, is going to be Dating Part 2. Now, in the last episode, in the last show, I covered the basic concepts of dating, some of the pitfalls that come with dating, and also some of the ideas that people have with dating. Now, for the Part 2 segment of this show, what I want to cover is some of the things that people have in their minds that make up the current dating scene. Because a lot of times the current dating scene is really diluted from truth. There's a lot of parts of the dating scene that has a bunch of facade and a bunch of foolishness that's around it. Makes it really genuinely hard to even try to attempt to have something with someone. A lot of people out there have been hurt. They've been broken. There's been a lot of things that have happened to them. They've had messed up relationship after messed up relationship. And then when they get to the next person, they carry all that baggage and they bring it into that next person. And then the people that they get with they're sort of similar to the person that they just got out of because of the manifestation that they fail to have from the vibrations that they put out there, and they don't want to have or have anything different than what they already have had in the past. A major part of that is that part of me being and attracting something that's different than what I've had and trying to initially get that change to really dig deep down inside of what I really want to get to is I first need to love myself. I first need to get to a point to where I feel comfortable with myself to know the pitfalls of what I have, but also to be in a space, in a place where I can then know and understand what it is that I truly want. And see, everyone deserves to have someone that's there for them. Everyone deserves to have someone that they can grow, build with, have a family with. Sometimes that works out and sometimes that doesn't. Sometimes from an outsider point of view, we can see people that have been together for years and not understand the pitfalls that they have gone through. And the idea that sometimes that people portray that they have this quote unquote perfect relationship, and it's a facade because no one's relationship is truly perfect. People just work at it. And some people have the tools and the necessary worth to say that, you know what, I understand that we are not the best, but you know, we're going to work at this thing. We want the things that we want later on in life. It works better with having someone that's like-minded with me. Now, they don't have to be the same type of person as me, but they can have the same core values as I have. I want to respect myself. I want to respect the person that I'm with. I want to respect what we have, most importantly, but I also want to respect the things that we want for in our future. And sometimes we don't have that. Sometimes people get together for a moment. Sometimes people get together for their idea of what they feel would be a great thing, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. See, once we get past the initial attraction phase, because let's be honest, a lot of people are attracted by what they see. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, your first initial attraction sometimes is, that person looks good. I would like to get to know that person. And then you go ahead and you get forward and you grow a little confidence and you say, I want to go ahead and quote unquote shoot my shot, or I want to get to know this person. And you go ahead and you start to talk to this person and everything seems like it's going right and everything at the beginning sounds great. It feels good. Man, this looks good until something happens. And then when something happens, it may take you back a few steps. It may send you to a spiral, but it also may be something that you can say that, you know what, I want to know if I can live with this and I can grow from this and we can build on what happened. Now, that's a big difference than having something that's a red flag, that's something that was detrimental to you, because at the same time, you have to know and understand what it is that you want for yourself. And not knowing and wanting something positive for yourself, that's going to lead to a lot of devastation later on. It can lead to a lot of heartache, it can lead to a lot of pain, but it can lead to a lot of emotional damage to you. Another thing that happens is that we get into a spot where it's hard for us to even understand that we sometimes create situations for ourselves. We create these situations and these settings for ourselves based on what it is that we put out there. So if I put out there that I have X, Y, and Z and I want something that's completely different, well, that something different will never come my way because of what I have and what I see. Let's transition a little bit. Part of what I see now, and I did a lot of research for this show, okay, for the initial show and for this part two. Part of what I see now is I see that a lot of people live for social media, and a lot of people run to get on a social media platform because they're looking for likes, they're looking for interest, they're looking for people to go ahead and agree with them. Now, the first person to say something about something doesn't mean that it's truth. That just means that you're the first person to tell your version of what happened. And with you telling your version of what happened, you have to also remember that there's another side of that story. And with knowing the other side of that story, sometimes it would either make me look like I should have never jumped on there and said something, but it also makes it look like I wasn't mature enough and established enough emotionally to go through what I went through. See, sometimes we don't take the time for ourselves once we have been with someone to fully divest from what it is that we went through. Sometimes we can be in a relationship, and no matter what it is, because when you fall for someone, you fall for them. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. That's just something that genuinely attracted you to them. And you can really want something with this person, and that person can just turn out to either fall out of love with you. And that's life, and it happens. And sometimes when that happens, it can set people back a long way. And the hardest part when it sets those people back is they continue in that cycle because they really haven't taken the time to invest in themselves. And see, knowing and understanding yourself and what it is that you truly want is the basis of everything. If I know that I want a good relationship that's going to be healthy for me and healthy for that person, as I said the last show, I need to establish some ground rules. With those ground rules, those are called boundaries, right? A boundary is something that I'm going to respectfully say and I'm going to respectfully put out there as something that's a black and white thing for me. There's no gray area when it comes to boundaries. There's nothing that you can look over and say that, okay, I did this, but it's okay. We can get through it. Some things you can't get through. Sometimes you can never forget something because the first initial time that something happens, that always sits in the back of that person's mind. Now, they can want to be around you and feel that their energy that you have and still in their mind feel as if you're the person that they want to have something with, but let something happen or let a situation occur. And the first thing will happen is the thing that you guys had just gotten out of, the situation that you guys have supposedly moved on from. And some people are not mature enough to know and understand that sometimes it's just best to cut the cord. Sometimes it's best to just let that person go. And with letting that person go, I have love for myself and love for my situation because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole or spiral out of control to where I really don't even know myself. Sometimes people have done that. Some people love really hard. And when they love really hard, they do things that they wouldn't imagine that they would do. And when they no longer have that person, then they feel like they've been used and abused. And there's no feeling in the world that feels like that. You feel alone. You feel isolated. You feel as if you're not worth of anything. It's just hard for some people to come back from. They become a dysfunctional, depressive person. And it happens. It happens. Some people do that all the time. And some people are a high functioning depressive person when that happens. But the idea and the concept is when you get with somebody and you know that that person is genuinely there for you and you know that that person has every intent and every right because you can see the things that they're doing, not just the words that they're saying. And I know that this person really wants something with me, and to have something with me, that is something I can touch. That's tangible. That's something I can feel because it's an action. That's something that I believe because I can trust what I see more than what I hear because you're putting action into words and you're making it actually work. But what we're going to do on this show, I'm going to play a couple clips and we're going to talk about that, right? And the reason why I want to dissect and the reason why I think these clips are important is because, as I stated earlier in the intro, a lot of times when we have these relationships and things like that, people come in with their own idea and their own mantra of what they want from that other person. Sometimes we can want something from someone that we're not willing to give ourselves, right? Some people want someone to be there for support. Some people want to be there for companionship. Some people want other people to be there just to be there. And some people want people to be there based on what they have and what they can give. And at the end of the day, when that person is gone, it's all that person's fault. Or you never loved me and all these other bad things that they want to say. And they want to discredit that person, but that person woke up and said, I don't want to deal with this anymore because you were not truly there for me. Nothing that we had is worth the trouble or the future trauma that I may face dealing with you. And that's okay, because sometimes it's okay to say, you know what? Enough is enough. I love myself enough not to go through this. I love you, or I want to be with you, but at the same time, this just isn't going to work for me. And some of us are not adults enough or mature enough to understand that. Remember, sometimes when some of us that are older in age, when we can go back into adolescent stage of our lives, when our parents or somebody that talked to us when we were younger, and they try to give us the knowledge that they have based on the way that they understand it, and they will say, don't do this, don't do that. Then they don't give us the reason why we shouldn't do it. They will just give us a warning to say not to do that, not to give us the full scope of the full understanding of why we shouldn't do certain things. And then we go ahead and do the thing that they warn us not to do. And some of those lessons that we learn are the best lessons for some of us. And some of us are still learning at a later stage in our life because we've never really taken the time to really understand why we had to learn that lesson. But part of that is us. Part of that is us not being in touch with reality. And sometimes when people go to social media, people are not in touch with reality. What they want to do is they want to go ahead and say, I want this type of person. They need to make this amount of money. They need to have this type of thing for me to feel comfortable, for you to make up for something that someone failed to do. Someone misused and abused my trust, my loyalty, my love, my everything, my affection, my anything. And it's your job now to come in. Anybody that wants to be with me has to do that. Ma'am and sir, that's no one's job. Okay? You first have to do that for yourself. The idea is for you to come together with someone and build with that person, because no one's going to be completely healed from anything, because there's a lot of people out there that are still with somebody and they're still dealing with some stuff that somebody in the past has done to them. And to know and understand that they're still working through the issues that they went through with that person, sometimes we don't give that person the grace that they deserve. Sometimes we don't give them the chance to go ahead and fully understand why I feel the way I feel right now. When you say certain things to me, when you look at me a certain way, when you come through the door and I have something to say and it may turn you off, it may turn you up and we start arguing. Sometimes people don't have that type of understanding. But the hardest part of not having that understanding is, what does it do for the relationship that we have right now? It tears it apart. We really don't have a foundation of understanding, of care, and of respect. So how are we going to grow from this? A lot of people, they don't grow from it. They just grow apart. And when they grow apart, they have to live and deal with everything negative that comes out of that. Do you know anybody that's out there that has had a horrible relationship, and every time somebody brings up that person's name, all they do is have the most negative, vile things to say about them? And anytime something or someone comes around that reminds them of them, they lose it. That means that that person fully is not really over the person that they were with. Because you really never know what's going on in the relationship. People aren't going to give you what they want you to know. No one is completely open to other people and let them know what's going on within that relationship. Part of the hardest part of having something with someone is knowing the boundaries of others, and the others knowing the boundaries for that relationship. Because sometimes people need to know their place, and sometimes people are too opinionated, especially the people that don't have nobody. The people that don't have nobody, and the people that have been in relationship, and know all the business and can tell you X, Y, and Z, and that's not something I would do, or I wouldn't do that because I ain't finna stand that. Where are you? What makes you the savant and to know the master language and the master relationship expert in this? You cannot tell me the things that I need to hear and the things that are going to help me. I don't need to listen to that. Me as a person that feels like I need to tell somebody something about something I'm going through is not a weakness. That means that is something that's within me that I want to get out. I need to have an outlet of that. And if I don't have that outlet that's positive, if somebody's pouring some negative connotation or some negative things, all they're doing is sowing negative thoughts and negative ideas, the only thing that's going to come out of that is I'm going to go back to the person that I'm with and I'm going to spew all that. Anybody ever been in a situation where they heard someone say, oh, if I was with that person, that wouldn't happen? That's a red flag. Don't listen to that. Somebody's plotting on your person, okay? Somebody's trying to get in where you are because some people are miserable with the relationship you have. To genuinely have something with someone is a beautiful, magical thing. To really build with someone is a great thing. And sometimes some of us want that so bad, but we do not have the time and opportunity to really have that with someone. Because every time someone comes in, the first thing that we do is we think of something that tragically happened to us in the past that has triggered some sort of trauma. And with having a trauma-based relationship, and when I say that, I don't want to have it mean that it's something that's very like an abuse type thing. Trauma can be mental or emotional. It can affect my spirit. If something is making me feel that way, why am I doing this? Why am I trying to get the things that I want? You know, at this day and age right now, we have a lot of people that are 40 plus that say, you know what, I'm good. I done lived my life. I done had my mistakes. I done did the things that I did. But now I just want to be happy. I just want to live life. I want to travel. I want to do those things. Those things are great. Sometimes some people say, I want to do that, but I'm still lonely. I want to find somebody. How do you do that? You're not going to find them just doing the same thing that you've been doing, because you're going to find the same type of people that you've been dealing with. And when those same people keep coming in, you're going to blame yourself and say, why I keep finding these type of people, these type of people keep coming around. What about you has changed? Nothing. How much time and effort and energy did you put into you, into changing? What makes people think that it's okay for them to want and expect certain people to have certain things to bring into a relationship that they're not willing to bring in themselves? Case in point, there's a lot of stuff on social media right now. There's a lot of women that are out there, and a lot of women want a man to make a certain amount of money. A lot of women want to have a man to have a certain credit score. A lot of women want to have a man that's well established, right? If you're listening to that and you hear that, what would you think about that woman? What could you possibly give in or pour into any type of relationship if that's what you're leading with? If you're leading with something like that, a man that knows better and has some sort of self-worth is not going to try to be invested in you. You're going to find somebody that just want to sneak in your DMs and get in your panties, or have something for a good time, not a long time. That's what's going to happen. That's the misunderstanding that people have. People have this idea that they are going to set themselves up and they're going to be taken care of. But can you take care of yourself? I need to know that I can be with somebody that's going to truthfully be there for me, that's going to pour into me, like I'm going to pour into them. Ultimately, that's what it is. If I can't find somebody that's going to do that, then guess what? This ain't going to work. I might as well be by myself. We need to get to a point to where we're doing that. A lot of men have been in a situation where they're pouring in, and they're not doing nothing. They're not getting nothing in the end. Then that tailors another relationship they get in, and it trashes his behavior towards that next person. To which he's going to say, excuse my language, all you women are the same. All y'all want to do is do the same dumb shit and be the same dumb way. And in his mind, because of the things that he's gone through and the experiences he's lived through, he will always have that mantra no matter what type of woman he will get involved with. People want a good man and a good woman, right? There's nothing wrong with trying to find a good man and a good woman. But the problem with finding a good man and a good woman is a good man and a good woman is being good somewhere to someone who appreciates them. They know and understand who they are, what they have, and what they want to build and what they want to be. They found somebody. They'll go ahead and they build, they learn, they grow, they experience, but they share. They have a shared existence. And with having that shared existence, they know and understand no matter what. I'm coming home, they coming home. And what we have in these four walls is greater than what's outside that door. Sometimes people believe the outside is best because sometimes people lead with their looks. And a lot of times we're attracted to these looks. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's some people out there that look real good on the outside, but on the inside, they're damaged. It looks real bad. I can dress up a house on the outside and make it look real good. I can have the best paint out there. It can have the best fixtures in the yard. It could be on the cover of a magazine. But as soon as I walk in that house, and it can look like a hoarder lives in there. And sometimes people have their type of life or their body like that. If I want to lead with something like that, I'm going to keep attracting the same type of person. I'm going to keep being in the same circle around the same type of people. The same type of people are going to keep coming my way. That when I really find somebody that really wants to be around me, I'm not even going to pay attention to it because I'm going to feel like they're a little weird or they're a little different because you're not coming at me like somebody else did. Maybe somebody's trying to give you something that you never had since you were a kid. Maybe you didn't have it when you were a kid. Sometimes that makes people afraid. Sometimes you can be too good to someone and you make them run from you. See, that's something that people don't understand about dating. Sometimes you have people that are real runners. And when I mean runners, what I mean by this is sometimes people can have the best thing that works out for them and it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful from top to bottom, inside and out. But something within me is saying, I'm just waiting for something to go wrong because it's too good to be true. Why is that? Because something has crept in your mind, that some type of doubt that I can't have the things that these things that I really wanted is right here in the palm of my hand. And now that it's right here, I think it's going to run away because maybe it's me or I'm going to push somebody away. We need to stop doing that. The reason why we need to stop doing that is because we can push away somebody that really wants to be with us, somebody that's going to work well with us, right? The most successful people in life are the ones who believe in themselves and that want to go ahead and have something with somebody. But sometimes people that are out there, they don't believe that they can have those things because those things don't exist to them tangibly. They see something somebody else wants and they say, you know what? I want that same thing. I'll never be able to get that. Why won't you get that? Why can't you have the type of relationship that you wish that you had? It's you. You were stopping that. The reason why you're stopping that is because there's something within you that's making you doubt that you can ever have it. The vibrations and the energy that you're putting out are all negative. So I'm going to attract the same thing. If I keep going to the same places looking for somebody, I'm going to get the same result. Somebody that doesn't want nothing, they just want to hang out with me for a little time, and they're going to make up something. They're not going to be around, and I'm going to turn around. I'm going to feel the way that I feel right now. So I'm back in the same spot one more time. Men and women have that both. It ain't just women. It ain't just men. It's men and women both. No matter what they like, no matter who they like, no matter what color they are, it's men and women both. It happens all the way around. When will people learn? When will people learn that the art of dating is to have and build something with someone? To know and understand that you have your good, you have your bad, I have my good, I have my bad, but damn it, we're going to make this work. You know why? I see something in you that I want, and I need to be humble myself to, you know what to say? I need to pour into something that I want, but I need to figure out what that looks like. I don't have the tools. I don't know what it is that I can get because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that this is too good to be true. I'm afraid that this can really be something that I really want. But I just want it my way. That's why you got to make that amount of money to make me feel comfortable to even talk to you. You got to have a certain thing. You got to have a certain credit score to even allow me to think about dating you. You missing the point. And if a man or a woman is thinking about that or thinking about what they can get from someone else, you will lose in the end. You will never be happy because you don't have anything that's tangible. See, a foundation is very tangible. Courtship is very tangible. Honor and respect are very tangible. Those things you can hold on to. Also, what's intangible are the experiences that you have. And with the experiences you have, they're going to mold and shape you into what you really want. And if you're not ready to be molded and shaped in what you really want, you're going to continue to have the same type of dating life that you have right now. The idea of dating, people, I said this in the last episode, the last show. Some people think that dating is just going on dates. Some people think dating is just talking to them on the phone. Some people think dating is having some type of relationship. Dating encompasses all that. Anytime that I'm pouring into one person or somebody, what that means is I have something with that person. I want something with that person. But the reason why I want something with that person is because there's something about them that's drawing me to them. And what's drawing me to them is something that maybe that's within me, right? Okay. So let's start with these examples, okay? The first example we're going to talk about right now, the first clip, okay? I'm going to go ahead and let it play, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards.
Y'all be so ego-driven in these relationships. Y'all be over there, oh, he'll never find a woman like me. Baby, it's a lot more good women out here than there is good men. Okay, the crazy part is you probably won't find another man like him if he's a good man. You thinking just because you got all these men in your DMs, thinking they ready to wipe you up. They're not. Most of them are ready to what? Come here while I say this. Fuck. They not looking for no wife. They're looking for a fun time. And you look like a fun girl on the internet. That is the harsh truth that people do not want to realize. Okay, relationships are hard. You better love on that man while you can. I'd be so ego-driven.
The point that she said relationships are hard, that was magical. Relationships are hard. Why? Because you're dealing with a person. You're dealing with a person that has feelings, emotions, thoughts, ideas, ways that are good and bad. You're dealing with somebody. That's not a machine. They're going to have those things. But to have something with someone and to really want something with someone is very hard. Those that are able to do that and those that are able to last a long time, man, you have my utmost respect because there's a lot of temptation out there. There's a lot of things that are going out there, but you're making it work within the ways of doing it the way it needs to be done. I agree with her 100%. Some people really think, some women out there, they really think the only thing that they can bring to the table is the way they look. Them looks going to get old because we get old. That body ain't going to be banging all the time. You can only get so much plastic surgery. You can only keep getting them lashes done, them lips done, and all the other stuff so long. Eventually, you're going to get tired of that. Eventually, you're going to change because your body's going to change. Your mind's going to change. Your ideas are going to change. You are going to mature in a certain way. You're not going to have that certain thing. Why are some people so miserable in what they have right now? Because they really don't know what it takes to have something tangible. Nobody's poured into them to have something. to which they listen to bad information. And that bad information can come from somebody that has lived that same type of life. And that has not changed. A mother, a aunt, a cousin, a friend, an uncle, a dad, a brother. All these people can pour negative things into a person to make them think and believe that what they're saying is okay. Yeah, I should go ahead and do that because ain't nobody finna play me. Who's trying to play you? Somebody trying to have something with you. But every time somebody comes around, doesn't mean that they just want something from you. Maybe they want something with you. So we need to break out of that. I love that clip. When I did the research, I love that clip because that clip said everything and it encompassed everything that I was thinking at that time. Let's go to clip number 2.
That comes with being a good man. Men that value family were always taught that family comes first. Your needs go on the back burner. Take care of home. Men aren't taking care of themselves because that wasn't a part of the lesson plan. There's this guilt that builds up when he wants to buy nice things for himself or he wants to go out and spend some money and he feels like, what if something happens to where we need that money? And even though nothing may happen because he's on top of things, he still holds that guilt because he knows that what he spends for himself, he technically takes away from the household. And really thinking about it, I kind of understand where the midlife crisis comes from. It's not necessarily you trying to regain your youth. It's reclaiming your value to yourself. It's returning to a time where you tell yourself that you deserve this new pair of shoes. You deserve this TV. Hell, you deserve to build this man cave. So if you ever wonder why Pops and Unc went out all of a sudden after y'all got out of college or out of their house, they decided, hey, I'm about to go buy this motorcycle. We're about to travel everywhere. I'm about to go out to eat. We ain't had McDonald's money while you was here. But you know what? I'm about to go get a steak tonight. They're trying to shake off all those years of guilt and celebrate a job well done. Fellas, go do something good for yourselves. Take some time for yourselves. You don't hurt the household by taking care of you. I was never told this, but hopefully this helps somebody else along the way.
You know, the major part of knowing and understanding that I'm still an individual when I am in a relationship is very important. When you get with someone, you don't lose your individuality. Even though you submit, and when I use the word submit, I don't mean be a slave. When I say the word submit, to submit, that means you invest into something. We're all going to submit to something or someone or some type of idea at some point. We're invested in that. But the idea that I lose myself to make someone else happy, and in the long run, they can decide to just trash me, that happens a lot. It happens to men and women equally because some people don't even really know what it is that they truly want. They just want to have or feel that they have something. And that is bad. That's horrible. I'm going to treat you the way I treat you because I feel like that's what you deserve. I got treated this way by the last person, so I want to see what it feels like, so I'm going to treat you that way too. No, I got my individuality. Some people are pushed away from being an individual that you need to go ahead and do what I say. That's a form of control. I want you to have your individuality. You know why? Because when you're happy with yourself individually, when you come here and build something with me, we gonna be happy together. Because I'm gonna do that for me. I want you to do the same thing for you. It's gonna be done within reason. It's gonna be done with respect and care. But it has to be equal. And that's not a 50-50 thing. What I mean equal is an equal understanding. The equal understanding is even though I have someone, I'm still an individual. I do not lose my individuality. I cannot lose my individuality when I become in a relationship with someone. And sometimes people like to change people based on their insecurity because of something that happened to them that they're not fully over. And that doesn't help at all. That doesn't help at all. At all. That's another great clip. Another great clip. I got 2 more for you. Let's jump into this one.
We all been broken, right? Broken. We all be mad at a man. And then now we act like every man is a cheater, every man is a liar, every man gonna do us wrong. So we might as well be hoes. Like, damn, is that what we're gonna teach our daughters?
Come on with it, Queen.
Listen, baby
Come
girl,
on.
daughter, no man will ever be faithful to you. So there's no point in being a faithful woman. Just be a hoe. That's what that's saying in my eyes.
Do you think there are faithful men out here?
Yes, there are faithful men. We all been.
There are. There are faithful men. There are faithful women. Now let's talk about that a little bit. The idea of being faithful. I heard Shaq say that there's 3 types of cheaters. There's a serial cheater, there's a James Bond cheater, and then there's a person that cheats because they're forced. And when he broke it down, it actually kind of made sense to what he said. And it doesn't just equate from a male and just a male-driven cheater. It's the same way both way around. So he said that first, a serial cheater is someone who just cheats, who can't help it. They just cheat because they want to, because they feel like they can. Men and women both do that. Okay, let's not make this one gender. It's men and women do it both. Okay, and history serves, and I quote, women cheat better than men. They do. Then he said it's the James Bond cheater. The James Bond cheater says he is at home. He goes out of the country, out of town. He does his business, come back home. Some of us know people who do that. Some of us may live with somebody that do that. Question is, do we know it? And if we know that, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to address that? Because they can go back to a life like nothing happened. Like, wait. What's going on here? What's going on here? Well, we can't continue to do this because, first of all, I got to protect myself and protect everything around me, right? You bringing in a whole bunch of energy from somewhere else that you don't even know is being transferred to you anytime you have an interaction with somebody. That happens. That's dangerous. The last type of cheater he talked about, and a lot of people, especially men, are in this situation, is the cheating where he had no choice, right? Now, I'm not condoning it, but I'm going to tell you why this one applies to a lot of people, not just men. When people are not getting the respect that they deserve, they're not getting the affection they're looking for, when they don't get the companionship that they desire, when they don't get certain things that they need, sometimes they will creep. Some people believe that texting is cheating. Some people believe that looking is cheating. Whatever your idea and your view of cheating is, it was developed by something in your past. And it may have happened more than one time. But that thing that happened in the past has grabbed your idea of what cheating and a cheater is. So when that person that you're with, if they display certain things and they have an episode of cheating or multiple episodes of cheating in the way that they do, you're going to react to it. But the way you should respond to it is that if this ain't going to work for us and there's something that's not working within this, we should have established this ahead of time. If you want to cheat, then go ahead and cheat. But you ain't got to cheat. You know why? Because you could just leave. If you leave, we're good. We can go ahead and deal with not being with each other. But when you introduce cheating, that introduces a whole bunch of other stuff that comes along with it. But you got to be careful because nowadays people aren't careful like they used to be. People don't even care what they do and who they do it with. So you got to be careful. So when Shaq said that, I agree with that. But the part that I disagree with that is he said it's men. But the reason why he said it's men, because he nodded to the co-host or the woman who was running the show and said it's determined by the woman because women rule the world. Now, the idea of women ruling the world, they have been doing that since the beginning of time. But the idea to know that that is a certain innate vision and power that some of them don't even know that they have or they're capable of exuding to other people or over other people is very dangerous. Okay? That comes with a lot of thought blocking. And when I say thought blocking, that means that they don't even know the type of impact that it can have on someone because their minds aren't truly open yet to the idea of the power that they have. That can be very dangerous sometimes. Very detrimental, too. But let's get to this last clip, and then we're going to go ahead and move forward.
It be too much gaslighting going on between men and women on the social media platforms. Like, y'all weak-ass theories of a man should be doing this and a woman should be doing this. Like, listen, shut the fuck up. How about you and your partner lock in 3 to 6 months, all love, all peace, all hustling, all getting money, all strategizing business plans, and see how far y'all get. Shut the fuck up. Always talking about. That's why we so divided. That's why the division is an all-time high between men and women, because what the fuck is y'all talking about? Y'all get on this bitch and be trying to clickbait all day. Shut the fuck up. Like, nigga, be in love, get money, fuck your partner, and turn up, bitch. Fuck is you talking about? All that weird ass, oh man, niggas, bitch, none.
I agree with that 100%. 100%. That brother said it. 100%. And the way that he said it and the way he communicated, some people are going to get it. Some people are going to be upset how he said it. But the facts are the facts. It doesn't matter. Stay off of certain things just to get likes, get certain people to feed into what you're saying, because all it does is open the door for more hurt, more trauma, and more poor experiences. Because misery loves company. It does. No matter what it is. Misery is infectious, just like joy is. Right? It is. People don't understand the power that emotions have or the impact it has over people. They don't understand what it does, because the emotions are raw. The feelings are what comes out of that. And when my feelings are hurt, I'm going to react to what hurt my feelings. I need to be invested in what I have with who I have it with. When I decide that I'm going to be with somebody, that is it. No one else is around. But you know the funny, funky thing about that is that some people think that they got the right or the opportunity or the awareness that they can sneak in and have a little bit of this person, and that's going to be enough, or that's going to be it. That's not good. That's not cool. That's not life. Because if that were to happen to you, you definitely wouldn't like that. Not at all. That would make you upset. That would make you pissed off. Why is dating so hard? Dating is so hard because people do not care about people. People care about themselves only of what they can get from other people. We live in a day and age right now where people just see things. They're attracted to what they see, not to the person that they're trying to get with. What about this person makes me want to be around them? Because after the physical attraction has faded and it begins to fade, what do we have? If I can't hold a conversation with you, what do we have? If I can go out and be in public with you and enjoy a nice time with you, what do we have? I can't date you. I can't be around you. I can't even damn stand you. I need to know and understand what it is that I want, because everybody look good. Some people dress themselves up real nice. Some people go get themselves done up from top to bottom. But at the same time, after you take all that off, and the real you was looking in the mirror and looking at that other person, who are you? Are you somebody that somebody really wants to be with, or the person that you're presenting is an idea? The idea of the person that you're trying to portray is a lie to the other person. That's why so many people have so many dysfunctional relationships. That's why a lot of times a lot of relationships, they fail. That's why a lot of marriages fail too. Sometimes people get married based on they had kids. That doesn't work out all the time either. Sometimes it's a hit. A lot of times it's a miss. Sometimes people get in relationships like that. Sometimes that's a hit. Sometimes that's a miss. But you got to have a oneness with that person. You have to know and understand, but respect that person for who they are, what they bring to the table, and why you chose them. You know, one of the funniest things I've ever heard is, I could have been with anybody, but I chose you. I could have been with anybody, but I chose you. Don't try to put that on me as if you're the prize. We both the prize. We both chose each other. Let's not do that. Because when I put that out there to that other person, sometimes depending on who that person is how they're going to take it. And if they take it a certain way, they're going to react or they're going to respond to it. Some people might react to it and say, okay, well, then go be out there in the streets and do what you got to do. And if somebody want to be out there in the streets, let them go. If somebody want to go ahead and be there with you, take the time to learn and love them again. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If we don't take care of ourselves and know what we truly want, we couldn't possibly know and understand what a real relationship is. The idea of a relationship is something that is magical, something you can share, something you can build, but something that will allow you to have something tangible with someone that is lasting. That will help you at your darkest times, that will celebrate you in your brightest moments. Somebody that's going to be in your corner, win, lose, or draw. Somebody I can count on, not just because of what they have, but who they are. That's the show for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for go ahead and liking and subscribing. Share the word. Let's get it out there. Join me for episode 42. Later on this week. This is AP for the Black Male Podcast. And as always, be good to yourself and be good to others. Peace.